You got me going psycho. You got me going down, down, down. You got me on a tightrope. You got me falling down, down, down. Alright. I know I'm not cutting that out, so it was just stuck in my head. But yeah, I saw the inauguration today. Very good. Although he didn't get sworn in, but we kind of just had a little celebration about it. Tom Hanks was there. He kind of narrated the whole thing. There were a bunch of celebrations about people around America. And you know what? I'm really glad. I'm happy for him. Um, I I almost cried when Katy Perry sang "Fireworks," man, because the entire time while she was singing that, you had Kamala Harris and her husband, and you had Joe Biden and his family in the White House, and they were all watching the fireworks by the Washington Memorial. I think it's called Washington. Is it Washington Memorial? I don't know, but we they were all just sort of standing there, just admiring the beautiful, beautiful fireworks show going on behind the Washington Monument. Oh, monument, not memorial, my bad. But the Washington Monument. And, Katy Perry was there. And I was like, wow, she's getting a lot of mileage from that song. That's incredible. She made the greatest song in the world, arguably. The most well-known song in the world, arguably. But she was singing, and she was really just that sort of. She was just going for it. She was gunning it. She was really belting. You could feel the emotion in there, and you saw the firework going out behind her. She put her hand up like this, and the firework was right behind it. It was incredible, and while that was happening, my father was laying next to me, my brother on my other side. I was really trying not to cry because I was like, wow, America is so beautiful, man. America is beautiful. It was amazing, and you know what? That was like the finisher. She closed the show out, and Tom Hanks was there. America is great. I can't do very good Tom Hanks, but he was narrating the whole thing, and there was that spot where Bush and Clinton and Obama were all standing in what I assume to be a very important building, although I don't really remember what it's called. But they were in the important building, and they were, standing in a circle, and they were, just talking. It was incredible. And, even though, Obama was there, he looks at Bush and he starts talking. He says, well, it really goes to show that, even though he wasn't very, the reason why inauguration is the way it is the inauguration it's the show of a peaceful handover of power, and when you gave me the power, and when you handed off the power to me in my inauguration, and it really goes to show that even if we can have fierce disagreements on issues, but the inauguration is a show of, even though we may have the fiercest disagreements, that we can agree that we can still have peace. And I butchered what he said, but it really stuck, like, because that is what America is. We, even though like we may not agree on everything, we agree on one thing, and it is that America deserves to live, deserves to thrive, and although it might not, it it should, and we believe in rights, Hey, you won fair and square. I may not agree with everything you say, but the people want you. We're here to serve the people. It doesn't matter to me if it's me or if it's some other douchebag. Hey, the people want you, and I'm going to give you the power to do what the people need. That's what I mean by America, the people, because I feel like America could be anywhere, but the people of America will always be the people of America. every movie that I've ever seen, right, where the world falls apart, America sticks around, all right? Everywhere sticks around, granted, but America always comes together. It's always Americans where shit just blows the fuck up, and we always come together. Now, those are movies made in America. Obviously, they would have to do that shit, so they don't piss people off. But I think that that's a detail in movies that I think shows what I'm trying to say. Because I don't know. I'm on a patriot kick right now. It's just amazing that America could just do what it does. And I feel like that's what makes us unique, like as Americans we make fun of ourselves for being Americans. We know the stereotypes, and we perpetuate them a little bit with the few Americans that fit it. But you know what, we by making fun of ourselves for being Americans, we are still standing firm that we are Americans, and I think that that's really cool. And you know I I feel that America is a country that really gives. That's the thing about Americans. We really give a shit. Like, we really care about how we see each other. And you know what? I understand that America is a house divided upon itself, and it's barely managing to stand. But you know what? We're still standing, at least somewhat, because even though in America it's easiest to see, right? You have this one guy who looks at everyone else that doesn't look like him, and he says, "I don't like you fuckers. Stay the fuck away. I'm taking care of my own. Fuck the rest of you." But you know what? There are notable times that men who look different, men and women and women and men and men and men and women who didn't look the same, didn't share the same values, all stood in the same house, undivided, and just got together to do some shit. And I can't think of anything, but I know that it's a common occurrence that no matter what the other guy looks like, no matter what the other person has in their pants, nobody gave a shit. And we just all get together and work. And it doesn't matter if it's like building a church, building something beautiful. And it doesn't even matter if it's in an office job where you barely even talk to the guy. There's just the respect that we're both here to do a job. Let's just do it. I don't care. And it does happen. It does happen. It happens here. It happens there. It happens everywhere. And maybe because it's PC. Maybe it's because the world is more firing. And you know what? You hear the rain outside, and it's been raining all morning. And I feel that sometimes, or other places in the world, you see rain and you think that it's a bad thing. But where I'm from, rain is a blessing, And the celebration that was on television today, because I wasn't there for it, obviously, Guam, but the rain was raining all throughout, because rain is a blessing. I feel like, whatever gods we believe in, because I don't know them by name, but whatever spirits are out there, they know that this is a good thing, And, I'm really happy that we're moving on to another president. And, while Obama and Clinton and Bush were all standing in that semicircle, around the guy with the camera, I really forgot that Trump was in charge for like 20 minutes. Actually, during the entire thing, until they mentioned that Trump was in charge, I was like, oh, shit! Like, I forgot that he was around. I thought that we were just going from Obama to, Biden, but yeah, it was a weird moment for me because I was like, oh, shit, I forgot. Because the president was nowhere near, where everything was going down. The president wasn't watching. The president just sort of went like, fuck you, I'm still in power. Fuck you, I'm still in power. I don't like that man. I'm becoming just old. I don't like him. I don't want him near me. He won't get my country. Only I, with my massive 500 IQ Chungus Keanu Reeves intellect, will ever be able to run this country and make it great again. But I feel like proving that, we really give a shit about America. I think the fact that we really give a shit who's in the top seat really shows that America is great, because we need a leader. I mean, the people of America are known for, starting their own thing, doing their own thing, and then just going with it, doing amazing things. But I feel like in times like these, this is the one time I'm going to word it like that, the coronavirus and shit burning and all that, and, pandemic, we needed a leader, and he wasn't there for us. That's all I know. And I personally haven't gotten hit that hard by it, but I look at the news, I look at the people in the roads and everywhere, and I understand that our president wasn't there for us. If this was the one freaking time that we needed a leader, we didn't have one. We basically, he just left us and we just went and did our own shit. We were on our own devices, and that's what pissed people off that much. The one time that we needed a leader, the one time in times of war, in times of plague, in times of, all this shit, in times of uncertainty, we needed a leader, and we didn't have a fucking leader. We didn't have a fucking leader. We had a dude sitting in a chair where a leader should have sat. And that is why we give so much of a shit that he's gone. And, I feel like he did make America great again. He reminded us that we can do shit on our own. I don't give a fuck if I'm pissing off every Trump supporter in a 5-mile radius. I feel that, the more that people got pissed off about Trump, the more that we, knew that we had to pick our next guy wisely. And that's why we picked Biden, because Biden is the opposite of Trump that I can see. Yeah, I get it, old white dude, but Biden, in and of himself, he's just not Trump. And I think that's the only reason why, not the only reason, because he has his own shit. But that's what we know, that he's just not Trump. And Biden could be a leader, and we're hoping that he could be the leader to get us out of this, And that's really all that we give a shit about. And he'll be the leader that we need him to be. And that's why, Obama, Clinton, Bush gave their blessings, It was like, Biden, you have a lot of shit to do. You have this country that needs to be saved. We need you to save the country. That's what I got from when they were all standing in the semicircle and the camera zoomed in on their faces. You know what? Hey, God bless you, man, said Bush. Or I wonder if I could do that. God bless you, man. God bless you. Go on, kid. I heard it like that. Go on, kid. You'll get it done. And then Bill Clinton was, if there's one thing you need to know, it's that you have my blessing. Go. Fix America as best as you can. And God willing, Godspeed. And holy fuck, I'm getting myself teary-eyed. I'm not even part of this shit. I am so far removed from the presidents. But that was just beautiful to me. Because they really wanted Biden to go and do his thing, And, maybe, I feel like some people, I haven't heard it said, but I don't know, but I think some people might have it in the back of their head that the only reason that Biden won is because his vice president was a woman and black. But, you know what, I feel like that's another thing, the first black vice president, or I don't know if she's the first black, but sure as hell the first woman vice president. that was incredible, and I think it was a reason that people were kind of pissed at Trump. That was kind of the one thing that people were pissed at Trump when he got in, is that he sort of just cock blocked a woman. But you know what? I didn't like Hillary, not because of her policies or anything like that. Like I was being like, because back in the day I said, oh yeah, fuck you, Trump. You cock block Hillary, you son of a bitch. But no, I that was just because I was trying to impress people. I was looking for praise, but I think that Trump was better than Hillary. I mean, because I didn't like Hillary. It was the way that she carried herself, and she was really fucking old. I didn't like her because I don't know. She just put me off in like 30 different ways. I didn't like her. It's just what I'm trying to say. I didn't like her, and that's another thing. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Friggin', something that really strikes me about this election and this inauguration is that there's no controversy this time around, right? When Trump got in, there were like a million fucking controversies. Some of them that I think are still going, And maybe it was because we were butthurt that Trump got in. Maybe it was because the Electoral College didn't agree with the people. Maybe it was because Hillary got the popular vote. Maybe it was because, people were just pissed. But you know what? You got to realize that there wasn't any controversy this time around. In fact, the only controversy about Biden was the fact that Trump wasn't giving up the power. And that's the only controversy that came around this time around. Nobody scolded Biden. Nobody was pissed off at Biden. The only people that were pissed off at Biden were because Trump was pissed off at Biden too. And, that's just because he's the opposition to what we have now. And I like what we have now. I'm not saying this, I'm quoting. But yeah, the Trump supporters were like, okay, I like who we have now. I don't like that guy. I don't like his vice. I like this guy. I like his vice. Fuck them. And that's what this was, We really got fired up because we knew, or because Trump supporters knew, hey, he wins, my guy's out, he's never getting back in. We need to keep him in. And, that's what happened. And that's why they're assholes. That's why they were raiding shit. That's why every single government facility nowadays, or at least yesterday, I was driving down yesterday, and I look to my left and I see this government building and there's the peace in front of them, the peace, police, the good kind, because they're just doing their job. They want to keep the peace, So I see the peace. He's out there in front of the door, just standing there, not really, doesn't have no gun on him, just sort of, standing there keeping guard, because people are fucking scared. He's scared that people, because there are Trump supporters on Guam. I saw them. We were driving down Bibic Street, away from my grandfather, where my grandfather's at, where he is, and I see this red, white, and blue flag hanging off a car in a parking lot. And as we drive in front of it, I realize that they have a sign in front that says Trump 2020. And I'm like, those exist here? Like, I really didn't know that. I thought that everybody was, like, ironic about it. But I think that they might have just been, genuine. And I thought that was strange. I mean, I guess, I don't know. At that point, I've kind of thought that everybody was on Biden's side on Guam. I guess not. I don't know why you would be on Trump's side if you're on Guam. You're like, and like, you know what? I was complaining about this yesterday. Okay, you know what? If I'm never gonna be political again, I'm just gonna fucking shoot all my shit right now. If in the future my opinions may change, they change a lot. They change like that. All right. You can't really hold me to what I say today to what I say in like a month or so. All right. Don't fucking come after me unless you have something that will convince me. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. Trump lost. Trump's got to get out at some point, and Biden's the future, at least for the next 4 years. If he doesn't fuck it up, we're all good. But you know what? I'm so far away from all this shit. Guam's vote doesn't even matter. It's more of like a consideration. We don't really have that much of a voice on Guam, you know? And maybe it's just because I don't understand the inner workings of how this shit works. But I don't see the point in voting because on Guam, our votes don't count. I mean, we could get all the way into the thing, but you know, it doesn't really affect much. You know, they don't count our votes, is what I was told. And maybe they were simplifying it so that I could understand it, or maybe, you know, that is just how it is. But my understanding is that Guam doesn't count, and, you know, I didn't really give a shit. So, like, maybe it helps with the popular vote, but even then, the popular vote doesn't matter. It's only the electoral college that really matters. Hillary Clinton last season, she got popular vote. Trump got electoral college, and Trump became president. It didn't I feel like the popular vote is just like letting. I don't know how this shit works, but my theory is that maybe everybody in the state votes, and then it goes over to the electoral college. They count it. They're like, okay, so there's more people on this guy's side than this other guy's side, so maybe we should change our votes accordingly, because we matter and we need to represent the people, and then that guy, because he's got more men on his side, we'll give all our votes to him, and fuck you. I'm really throwing up the finger a lot these days, but it's what I saw, okay? It's what I feel is happening now, I was like, to hell with you. This guy's the future. Everybody wants him. We're going to vote for him, And I am really hesitant to talk because I know that maybe at some point in the future I might change how I feel and how I think and what I read. So I'm kind of scared to talk. But you know what? As of this point right now, I feel like Biden... Congratulations, Biden. You're on your way, and fix our country, This is the one time that we need a leader. You need to be better than Trump. You need to be better than Obama, better than Clinton, better than Bush. You need to be better than all of them. It's up to you now. You're the main character of the story. You're Hamilton. I don't know what to tell you, Biden, because I know that, talking about politics kind of gets you places, But look, Biden, Trump really, really screwed us over this time around. These past 4 years, he really screwed us up. It's up to you now. You have to save the country. You have to fix things. You have to undo what the last guy did. All right? Doesn't matter if it was Trump. Doesn't matter if it was goddamn Joe. All right. Wait, no, you're Joe. Doesn't matter if it was. It doesn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter if it was Trump. It doesn't matter if Vladimir Putin or if Russia, hacked it. It doesn't matter if anything really matters. But you're in charge now. No matter what anybody says, no matter who disagrees, you're in charge now. You're our leader. We need you. We need you to fix our goddamn country. And Kamala Harris, I don't know a lot about you, but I know that you're going to help too. Because I feel like Vice President doesn't have as much power as the President. That's why they're the second in command. But Kamala, you are, or Miss Harris, rather. I think I'd rather say last names. I don't really like to address people in power with their first name. But Miss Harris, you are the first of, I don't want to say of your kind, but you are the first one. I would say first of your kind because, yeah, you are the first female, black. I mean, I don't really give a shit about race, but you are the first female vice president. But with being the first one of you, with being the first woman vice president, being the first black woman vice president, you have responsibility too. And, obviously, duh, you know this, but you have, because Joe Biden, there's been a lot of white dudes, old white dudes that have been presidents before. That's kind of everything up until the last other two. The other one was black, the other one was orange. But this time, you are, even though you're not president, and, I'm just saying this because that's what I think, that, the vice is kind of just there to be second in command when the president isn't around. But you have more responsibility because whenever you get the chance to do something, you can't fuck it up. You can't screw it up. I'm sorry. I don't want to cuss at you. But you have a bit more. Yeah, you know what? You have more than Biden, really, than Mr. Biden, because, you know, this is the first time that we've seen a female woman in power. And, and this is as high as a woman's ever gotten, and if you get a chance to do something, you have to strike, you have to get it, you have to do it well, all right? And Biden, he's got to save the country. Mr. Biden, you have to save the country. President Biden, you have to save the country. You have to save us from, what Trump did. And Ms. Harris, you have to do the best that you can, because you're going to open the door for maybe even a female president, And that's why I'm kind of glad that Hillary didn't get in, all right? Miss Clinton. I'm so sorry. Well, that's why I'm happy that Miss Clinton didn't get in, because although I didn't like her, and that's kind of helps, because Miss Clinton wouldn't have been a good example of what a woman president could have been, A woman like that, she was nuts, okay? I did not like her. I didn't stand for a single fucking thing she said. But she would not have been the best first woman to ever be president, okay? If Miss Clinton was the first one to ever be president, then we would never have a female president ever again. But Miss Harris, you are the one, I don't want to say, not whistleblower, fuck, I can't think of the goddamn words. But you are running, you are running so the rest can walk, all right? If you do a good job, you will open the doors for so many other women to be president. You will open the polls, because, you know what, this is what it is, okay? I know this because I'm a kid, If you want to give someone responsibility, but it's a really big responsibility, then you give him a little portion of responsibility and see how he handles that. And then, and then if he does well enough, you give him the big one, And Miss Harris, you are getting the small portion of the responsibility. And if you do well enough with this, and I believe that you can, then you will open the door for women to get hired, to get into the big responsible, the big position. And Mr. Biden, President Biden, you've earned this, and you need to just save us, okay? You need to just do your job. Don't be like your predecessor, the guy before you. You must go with grace and passion, and I believe in you. You're gonna do great. And as for Trump, the persona was a bit much. You kind of leaned into a persona. I don't know if this is persona or if this is just how he acts, but Mr. Trump, you really dropped the ball on us, man. In the 1 year that, like, all the other 3 years could have been forgotten if you were to clutch up this one, and you didn't. You fucked it up. You fucked it. You left us in the dirt. You left us to our own devices. And I say fuck you, because we needed you. People out there needed you, and you weren't there. Worst. That's why we consider you the worst president. Now, I don't care if there was some president way back when. I don't give a shit about what Nixon did or what, what's that guy that was before the Depression? Because the guy that came before Roosevelt, whatever, whoever the fuck that was, to hell with you. We don't need you. But, we needed you, and you really dropped the ball, is all. And that's why so many people hate you. I don't know why people are so supportive of you when you really haven't done anything for them. And you know what? I don't care. And I still think that Biden could have kicked your ass, though. I really still think that. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could probably kick yours, too. Biden would probably kick my ass. Kamala Harris will kill me. Fuck. Man, I want to get all my political shit out right now before I ever mention it ever again. I don't want to ever mention it again. So yeah, I think that's all I have. But yeah, that inauguration celebration, that those guys that were singing country, not the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters scared the fuck out of me. I wasn't paying attention, and they went from they went from slow, and then all of a sudden, like it was just like, whoa, fuck. Like, I was sitting there eating my goddamn food, talking to my father, and I'm looking at the screen, and then boom, I was, ah! Or I mean, it was more like, but it made me jump is all. Like, I thought that was funny. Woo! Oh boy. I was eating fucking burrito, but and then like that, I don't remember their names, but the country dudes that were, you go to church every Sunday, or you go to hell. You go to work every day, or you go to jail. Why's it gotta be black or white? And like, I obviously know that maybe that was about, racism and all that shit. But you know what? I felt that, like there needs to be more chances, But oh yeah, here's another thing, because I was actually, wait, how much time I got? There was another thing I was thinking about a couple days ago, where Mr. Wendell by whoever came on, and I was sitting in the car with my brother and my mother. They were sitting right in front of me, and Mr. Wendell comes on, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? We need to give people like Mr. Wendell, because I don't know if he was real or if he wasn't. I like to think that he was, but basically the story about Mr. Wendell is he's a homeless dude that you should take seriously because he has actual shit to preach, He's got actual knowledge that could help us out, and we need to respect them more. And I was thinking, you know what? The one thing that could solve all our problems is if we gave people like Mr. Wendell just enough money. Like, not even just enough, but if we could give them the money, we can give them the time, we could give them the platform, we can clean them up. And, if we could just take Mr. Wendell, as, I'm standing in for homeless people with knowledge as everything. But if we could just take Mr. Wendell, okay, bring him up, get him in a good home, get him in a good house, clean him up, dress him up, and then we can put him in front of people who can actually do what they can, and maybe people who can. We just put him in front of everybody, and we have him speak. And it's the fact that he's all clean and, all that shit. Only then will people ever really listen to him. And I guess that was the point of the song. But all we need is to get one dude, all those dudes. And the fact that he's homeless, he knows all the problems. And the fact that he's lived means that he knows the solutions. And if we could take his solutions and apply it to everybody, then maybe we could solve all the problems of the world. And there are so many ways that I feel like problems could be solved. But it's not enough to find an answer, it's to find a solution. And although I haven't found a solution yet, I know that simple answer, complicated solution is what I'm trying to say, Like, sure, if we could get a dude like Mr. Wendell up there and in front of everybody to talk, how are we going to pay for his house, his money, his suit, his everything, and to actually find people who will give a shit and to put him up there? Well, I don't know that, and that's the hard part, because his wisdom may only apply to people like him, and won't apply to people over there, And I'm not pointing anywhere specific. I'm just saying, other people. But if we could find people that have the wisdom but don't have the platform, give them the platform, And I'm not talking just YouTube, okay? I'm not talking YouTube. I'm not talking the internet. I'm talking in front of crowds of people, the way it used to be, you know? You know, get one dude onto a stage and he stands up there with his suit and tie, microphone up here on his pedestal, and he's just preaching to everybody like MLK. You know, like MLK, like Hamilton, like Rosa Parks, I think. That other girl that I read about her once, I forgot her name, I'm sorry. But if we could get more people like that, people who will stand and they will sing to everybody. They will yell. They will say, you know what, this world fucking sucks. I know how to fix it. Listen to me. If we all work together, we can fix this. Then we'll figure it out. And you know what? I feel like I I don't know. I'm not really qualified to really say anything with my limited knowledge and the fact that nobody fucking tells me. Because, you know, fucking hell, I hate that too, you know? Like, for some reason, you fuckers think that you shouldn't tell people like me, the new generation who needs this information the most. Like, if you're an old person, right? Like, if you're old, then you should be telling everything you know to us. You know, us. We're young. We can fix it if we just know what the problem is. If we could find an answer, we can find a solution, and we can fix everything. You know, and that's why people really get pissed off. I don't know if people get pissed off. I know I get pissed off when people don't tell me important shit. Just because, like, if I have it in my head when I'm young, then I can fix it when I'm old, like you, when I have the power. It doesn't matter if I don't have the power now, but I will have it soon enough, and I will need the knowledge. I can't learn this shit as I'm up on the pedestal talking about how I can fix the world. And you know what? That's why I'm so confused. Why you wouldn't tell a child this? Because I know for a fact that people don't like to teach their kid politics, but you need to. And you know, I I was a child of circumstance. I grew up quick. I had to know this shit. You know, I was in the room when all this shit happened, and I would ask questions, and that's how I know what I do. Although my parents didn't really, I don't really remember them telling me, you know, specific things until I got to like this age. But I actually have the power now. I can go somewhere, talk, and get my point across. I don't have much time, but all that we need to do is we need to inform our children. Doesn't matter if they're 6, doesn't matter if they're 13, doesn't matter if they're 7 or any of that shit. You need to let your kid know what's going on, and you need to let him know why it's a problem and how it's affecting people. And you need to just tell him. You can tell him what you think, but then you also got to remind him that that's what I think. If you come to a different conclusion, so be it. Good for you. But you know, I feel like stereotyping is also a bad thing. You know, because the more that we simplify someone else's arguments, the more that we'll think we'll know, but we don't. And that's why I haven't really been able to talk to anybody, because I'm kind of liberal. I'm kind of just. I don't want to put myself in any political standing because I simply don't know enough. You know, I don't know enough to really say anything. But what needs to be done is someone needs to step up and someone needs to take charge and fix this shit. You know, I don't really know what the hell I was rambling on about half an hour ago. But you know what? I'm done. I think I've gotten everything out of my head about politics. I should be good. So, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed by the twilight's last breeze? With bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we held, by the twilight's last gleam, and the Rockies did shit. I swear this isn't a skit. I forgot the words. It's because of the pressure, man. Fuck, I'm done. I've made a fool of myself. Fuck it.